The latest wave of the Eldar releases this edition has been phenomenal. I for one am excited to see a much needed refresh of their various Aspect Warrior kits, so I thought it'd be fun to make a painting guide for each Aspect Warrior paint scheme. In this video I'll show you my approach to painting the new Striking Scoprions that were released late last edition. The goal of this guide is to present a scheme that can be accessible to new painters and offer some challenges and more advanced techniques for the more experienced painters, without having to spend too much time painting, so you'll be able to get these models on the table in no time. We'll start with a simple battle-ready standard using solid colors, then we'll apply some shades to add some depth, and lastly, we'll apply some targeted edge highlights and details on the gemstones to take it the extra mile. Let's get started. We begin with a primed model. I primed mine in white, but you can use any gray or white primer and that'll be just fine. And we're going to start with a base coat using a Citadel color, Warpstone Glow. And then I water down the paint with a little bit of water so it's nice and thin, and I apply it with a large base brush. You don't have to be very careful about being neat here because this is just the base coat on the armor, and all the other little details and bits we'll be painting separately later. And after letting that first coat dry, you can see that it's a little thin and patchy still, so I go ahead and apply a second thin coat. After that second thin coat, I also go ahead and apply a third thin coat, just to make sure everything's fully covered. Once that base coat's all dry, you can see that it's covered nice and smooth and consistent all around. Next, I take Abadon black, and I go ahead and start painting some other details on them, such as the shuriken pistol, the little war ribbons wrapped around the arm and leg, the belts, his face mask, the chainsword, the dreadlocks, and the little hoses behind his helmet. Now that we have all the black details painted in, I'm going to use a brown leather color for the shuriken pistol holder. I like to use Mournfang Brown for things like leather pouches and holsters. After the leather is complete, I take a small layer brush and the metallic gold Retributor Armor. I paint things like some small details on the helmet near the face mask, the last sections on the dreadlocks, the bottom part of the shuriken magazines, the spirit stones and the belt buckles, and the chainsword handle and its filigree. Next, I take Leadbelcher and I paint the teeth of the chainsword and the rail on the shuriken pistol. After the Leadbelcher, I use a strong red like Mephiston Red, and I paint the spirit stones on his body, as well as carefully painting the eye lenses. Lastly, for the stone on the base, I use a warm neutral gray, Mechanicus standard gray. For the spirit stones on the chainsword, I like to use a different color to break it up. For this I use a dark blue, Kantor Blue. At this point, the miniature would be considered battle ready, apart from the base being finished. Now I want to take this scheme a little further with some more details. I use a warm yellow Averland Sunset and a small layer brush and carefully pick out the ridges on the shoulder pads, the ridges in the groin area, and the laces on the boots. Now we're starting to get that green and gold two-tone scheme that we often see with Striking Scoprions. Another easy step to greatly increase the finish quality is to apply some shade washes. For the armor, I apply Biel Tan Shade all over the green armor panels, letting it gather in the recesses and also adding a slight tint to the panels. After the green shade, I apply Reikland Flesh Shade to all the gold areas. an Agrax Earthshade to the pistol holster. Next, I apply Nuln oil to the chainsword teeth, and then I go over the top of the larger armor panels with Warpstone Glow. I do this to lighten up the raised areas a little bit from the green shade I applied earlier. To really make the armor panels pop, I do some targeted edge highlights on the pectoral armor panels, the ab plates, and the shoulder pads, his helmet, and anywhere else I see a sharp corner that is easily visible. For the black details like the chainsword, pistol, and face mask, I highlight these with Dawnstone Gray. Next, I use a bright yellow, Yriel Yellow, and go over all the ridges I previously painted with the Averland Sunset Yellow. Layering this bright yellow over the darker yellow makes for an easy application, as yellow can be a tricky color to work with. For the spirit stones, I add some highlights with lighter shades of blue and darker reds to add some depth. You can use things like Alaitoc Blue or Calgar Blue, or mixing Mephiston Red with a little bit of black. And at this point, the model is all done and ready for some action on the table. Well, I hope you found this guide helpful, and if you like this video, give me a thumbs up. Let me know what you think in the comments below. And if there's a specific aspect warrior you want to see me paint next, let me know in the comments. I'll be trying to go through all of them, but I may prioritize some higher than others depending on what you say. So let me know. And if you like what we do here on the channel, don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss the next video. We have regular battle reports and other painting tutorials, so stay tuned. Alright, well that's all for today. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.